Okay, so while you're in your resting pose, we'll just start by tuning into the breath and just noticing the breath for now. Relaxing the belly and allowing the air to just come in and out naturally. Notice the rib cage expanding. Start to let go of the day and just come and settle into your own body. And then from here, maybe just do a little body scan and see if there are any areas that might need extra attention today for whatever reason. And then maybe start deepening the breath, making the inhalations and exhalations a little bit longer. And then maybe even making the exhalation longer than the inhalation. You can do that by feel or just by counting the breath. And you'll notice if you're still holding at all in your abdomen when you try to breathe a little bit more deeply. You'll notice that you might have to allow space and allow the belly to soften a little bit more to accommodate for that extra breath. Notice how that feels right now. Notice how it feels to breathe intentionally, to breathe deeply intentionally. And how lucky we are that we get to breathe so deeply. And we'll slowly start to make our way up from the mat. And we'll start the practice on our toes. If you'd like to have a block nearby, you can get that ready in advance, just in case you want to lean on it. Otherwise, we'll bring the big toes together, let the other toes spread, let the feet get wide, and then we'll come to sit on our heels. If possible with a straight spine, unless you're leaning on the block. In that case, it's totally fine. And again, we'll bring our awareness back to the breath. Maybe even putting your hands on your belly if it's available to you. And feeling the abdomen expanding and contracting with the breath. Maybe even finding a drishti point, so any spot or point that you can focus your gaze on. And then slowly we'll lean forward. And maybe tap the toes to get the blood flow coming back. And if you want to put a blanket under your knees, you can. We're going to come onto tabletop, so hands and knees. And then since we already did the toes, we'll just take the right leg out behind us onto the ball of the foot. And keep the gaze past the mat. Don't let the head drop. Come back to your full deep breathing and press the heel back. And see how that feels. You can probably feel that in your calf, maybe the hamstring. Full deep breaths. Your leg is engaged. Both legs are engaged actually. Your arms are engaged. You might even be pressing into the mat to keep your body firm and steady. And then we'll take the right leg and swing it behind the left onto the outer edge of the foot and look over the left shoulder. And then go ahead and bring the right leg back to your tabletop and just do a quick check. Make sure that the knees or hips width apart and they're under your hips, and that the wrists are underneath the shoulders. And let's take the left leg back. So coming on to the ball of the foot again on this side, and then pressing the heel back. Full deep breathing. Just notice how that feels. And then we'll take the left leg behind the right and look over the right shoulder. Notice any tight spots. Notice how the low back is feeling here. And if there's any tension, you can always take the leg back a little bit so you're backing out of the pose. And then we'll go ahead and bring the left leg back. And then from here, we'll take the right leg up. And then find your balance, and we'll come into a full balance pose. So you can take the left arm out in front while the right leg is behind you, reaching in opposite directions. Again, full deep breaths. Check in with the hips, make sure that one is not hiked up. So make sure that the hips are even. If you want to bend the right knee and take the foot or ankle, that's just an option. You're invited to, but you don't have to. And again, for this pose, maybe find a drishti point. So anything that you can focus your gaze on to help you with your balance and to keep a steady mind. Release the leg if you have it, and then reach forward again with the left arm. And then we'll slowly release, bring everything back into tabletop. Full inhale and exhale. And then when you're ready, we'll take the left leg up. Find your balance. And when you feel steady, go ahead and take the right arm out. And again, full deep breaths. Focus your gaze. And just breathe. And if you want to take this also a step further, you can bend the left knee, reach back and take the foot or ankle. Full deep breaths. Notice the little muscles kicking in all over the place to keep you from falling over. A lot of different core muscles. Not just your stomach or your abdominals, but your thigh muscle, your arm. Release the leg if you have it, and then reach forward again with the right arm. Check to see that your hips are even. And then we'll go ahead and come back to knees. And from here we'll come into a child's pose. But take the knees a bit wider than normal. And we'll take the arms out in front. Rest the forehead on the mat. And take a few breaths here. And then lift the head up off the mat. Walk your arms over to the right as far as you can comfortably go. And then lower the forehead and breathe. And then again, we'll lift the head off the mat, this time walking the arms over to the left and lowering the forehead again. Then once again, lifting the head, walk your way back to center. We're going to come onto hands and knees and then all the way forward and onto bellies. And we'll start with the arms out by our sides at right angles. You can take the feet a bit wider, press the toes into the mat. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale the upper body up, elongating the neck by lifting the crown of the head, and then exhaling by dipping the left shoulder and looking under the right. You can bring your head all the way to the mat if that's available. Then we'll inhale back to center, and we'll exhale and dip the right shoulder and look under the left. Inhale back through center, exhaling and dipping the left shoulder again. Inhale back through center. And then exhale, dip the right shoulder. Inhale back through center. And then lower. We'll bring the left arm in front. You can lower the forehead to the left arm. And we'll reach back, take the right ankle or foot, and just slowly bring that foot in towards your hips. Get a nice quadricep stretch here. Your head can be up or down. Full deep breaths. Then slowly release the right leg. We'll switch sides, so we'll bring the right arm in front. And we'll reach back and take the left ankle or foot. Notice if the muscles start to melt a little bit with the exhalations. Hopefully they do. And then slowly release the left. And we'll take the hands underneath the shoulder heads. Again, feet a little bit wider than normal, toes pressing into the mat. And we'll lift the upper body off the mat. And maybe even tucking the chin just slightly so that we get a little more length in the neck. And just breathe. And then slowly lower the forehead. And on your next inhale, we'll bring the upper body up off the mat one more time. Hands can be off the mat, and actually try to open up the collarbone by squeezing the elbows toward each other as if you're trying to get them to touch. Full deep breaths. And then slowly lower. And take the arms behind your back. Clasp your hands. And as you inhale, you'll lift the upper body off the mat, and then you'll straighten the arms and lift them up and back. Couple of breaths here. If it's okay to take your feet up, go ahead and take them up if it's available, if it's comfortable. And then slowly lower, bring the hands to the lower back and then release them by your sides. Turn your head to one side, take a little rest. And then we'll bend the knees, lift the head again slightly up through center, reach back, take both feet and ankles. And whenever you're ready, we'll take everything up into bow pose. You don't have to come up too high. Just make sure you're breathing full deep breaths. And then to come down, see if we can come down just a little bit slowly. And then when you come down, you can release the ankles, turn your head to the other side, and take another little break. Then turn the head back to center, and we'll come back up to hands and knees. Again, make sure the knees are hips width apart, and that and that the wrists are below the shoulders. And from here, we'll take a few cat-cows. So as you inhale, let the belly drop, and then just lift the chest, lift the gaze. And then as you exhale, start to round the shoulders, letting go of the head and letting it drop. Allowing the neck to be loose. And again, as the breath comes in, we'll start to let the belly drop again, lifting the head, lifting the chest, lifting the gaze. And as the breath moves out, rounding the shoulders, pressing the arms into the mat, engaging all of those muscles. We'll go back and forth a few times, synchronizing your breath with your movement, going at your own pace. Taking nice full deep breaths here. We'll do 2 more and we'll meet in a neutral spine. And then from our neutral spine, we'll take the left arm up as we inhale, bring the left arm under the right as we exhale, and come to rest on the head and shoulder. So in this supported twist, the right hand can stay on the mat. Can also walk the arm forward, maybe even over to the left a little bit if you want to increase the twist. Other options we've gone over, but repeat. So the arm can also go straight up to the ceiling or rest on the lower back or even around the waist. And then from here, just rest and let your body sink into the mat. Notice where you're feeling the twist. And as always, if it's too much, you can back out of the twist a little bit. Full deep breaths. And then we'll bring our right hand to the mat next to the face and then press to come up. And then from here, take a full inhale and exhale. Then we'll inhale the right arm up and we'll exhale the right underneath the left. So we'll do the same on the other side. And again, the left hand can just stay right where it is, or you can walk it forward, raise it up to the ceiling, rest on the lower back, or wrap around the waist. And then to come out of this side, we'll bring the left hand to the mat next to the face and we'll press to come up. And then from here, make your way at your own time. We'll meet up in downward facing dog. So keep the feet hips width apart. And if you're not sure, you can see your feet and you can see your hips, so make any adjustments that you need to make. Press the heels down to the mat, maybe even bend the knees so that you can take the hips up and back. And get a little more length in the spine that way by pressing the arms into the mat as if you're trying to press the mat away from you. And you should feel the spine lengthen when you do that. Then bring the biceps in towards the ears so that we have an internal rotation in the upper arms. And then let's inhale and take the right leg up and bend the knee and open up the hip. And we'll inhale as we square the hip again. And as we exhale, bring the knee to the nose. And then inhale the leg back up. And then as we exhale, we'll bring the leg underneath and we'll land the right foot next to the right hand. Lower the back leg, point the toes. If you need to bring your blanket to pad your knee, you can do that. And we'll come into a lunge. So we'll start here with the clasped hands on the upper right thigh. Just keep the spine straight, maybe even lift the crown of the head a little bit just to elongate the neck. Full deep breaths here. Notice if you can feel that stretch in the front of the left hip and thigh. And let's lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. And then cross the left elbow over the right thigh. Bring your hands in front of the heart. We'll just stay here and breathe. And if it's available, you can also take the back leg up as well by straightening it. Just an option, of course. And then we'll slowly lower the back leg. We'll turn back towards the front. We'll get into the hip by taking the right foot out. And the foot can be flat or on the outer edge. And we'll press the left arm into the mat and we'll bring the right hand to the upper right thigh. And then we'll just do a little twist by looking over the right shoulder. Full deep breaths. And then slowly we'll make our way back to the front. And if you'd like to take a block, you can. We're going to come down a little bit more deeply. So we can come onto one elbow or two, but you can also just come down as far as the blocks. Or you don't have to come down at all. You can stay with the arms straight. We'll take a few breaths here, just see a little more deep into the hip. And then slowly we'll start to make our way out. We can bring hands back to the mat, then press the arms straight. And then slowly bring the right foot in. Now we're lined up again, and we're going to press the hips back. So we'll come into a half split. So the toes can stay on the mat, or you can point them up towards the ceiling. The right knee can stay a little bit bent if you need it, and we'll slowly fold over the right leg. And then we'll come forward again just a little bit so we can slide that right foot back. And we'll come back into downward facing dog again. Maybe pedal one foot and then the other. So bending one knee and pressing the opposite heel down to the floor. And then switching sides. And maybe even going back and forth a couple of times. And then we'll inhale the left leg up, bend the knee, and open up the hip. Then inhale and square the hips. And as you exhale, bring the left knee to the nose. I almost said the left nose. That would have been very funny. And then we'll inhale and bring the leg back up. Bend the knee again. Bring the leg all the way underneath. Land next to the left hand. Lower the back leg, point the toe. And then we'll just come up into a lunge on the other side. So we can clasp hands and press into the upper left thigh. Spine is straight. Lift the crown of the head. See how much length you can bring to your spine. And again, you might also notice this on the other side. You might notice that stretch in front of the hip. It might even go all the way up to the belly because the psoas muscles attaches underneath the ribs. Then from here, we'll inhale the right arm up. And we'll exhale the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. And bring your hands together. We'll just stay here and breathe. But if you're up for it, you can also curl the toes under and straighten the back leg. But again, it's just an option. Full deep breaths. Then we'll go ahead and lower the back leg. Point the toe. And we'll come back to center and we'll take the left foot out. So again, the foot can be flat or you can be on the outer edge. And we'll press the right arm into the mat and we'll bring the left hand to the upper left thigh and turn and look over the left shoulder. And then slowly make your way back to the front. And we'll come down a little bit deeper into this. So you can come to elbows or come down to a block or 2 blocks, whatever you need. We'll take a few breaths here. See if we can get that hip to open up a little bit with our breath. And allowing those muscles to relax and let go when they're always holding tight. A little bit at a time, one breath at a time. Then from here, we'll bring the hands back to the mat and press to straighten them, and we'll bring the left leg back in and then sit the heels back into half split. And again, toes can stay on the mat, or you can try putting them up towards the ceiling and bending and folding over the left leg. And again, the knee can be bent here. And then we'll slowly release. We can come forward with the foot just so we can bring our leg back, and we'll come back into downward facing dog one more time. Then from downward facing dog, let's inhale into plank pose. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Notice the muscles kicking in to keep you steady. And on your next exhale, press back into downward facing dog. Let's inhale the right leg up behind us, bend the knee, and bring the leg underneath the body. Plant the foot next to the left hand. And we're going to come straight up. So we'll swing the arms forward and up into a high lunge. So keep that back leg strong. Take your time. And then from here, bring the arms by your sides, behind the body, clasp the hands, straighten the arms, lift the chest, and lift the gaze. And then we'll straighten the front leg, release the hands, bring that back leg in a little bit so that the foot is flat, and then we'll fold forward. Front leg can be bent. Then we'll press the hands into the mat and bring that back leg to meet, the front leg to meet the back. We'll come right into downward facing dog again. Then we'll inhale the left leg up, bend the knee, and bring the left leg underneath and plant it next to the left hand. And again, staying on the ball of the foot, we'll swing the arms forward and up, and we'll come up into our high lunge. Keep that back leg strong. And we'll bring the arms down by our sides. Clasp the hands behind our back, straighten the arms, lift the chest, and lift the gaze. And then straighten the front leg, release the hands. That back leg can come in a little bit more. And then we'll just fold forward. And the front leg can be bent, of course. Then from here, we'll press the hands into the mat and we'll bring the back leg to the front this time, keeping the feet hips width apart. Bend the knees and come into ragdoll. Let the head hang nice and loose. Maybe take opposite elbows, again keeping the knees as bent as you'd like. Maybe check in with the neck, shake the head yes and no. See if you're able to let go. And then maybe play around with the weight of the feet. So shifting the weight from one foot to the other, or maybe from the front of the feet to the back of the feet even. Allowing the upper body to stay loose and relaxed, maybe even floating around a little bit. Hopefully getting a little more length in the spine. Then from here, bring your hands to the mat, keeping the knees bent. And then take yogi toe lock. So it's the first two fingers around the big toes, and then the thumb and the fingers touch. And again, keeping the knees bent, we're going to fold forward again and take the elbows out by our sides so that the arms are bent. And then maybe try bringing the knees towards straight. And then release the toe lock. Inhale halfway up till your back is flat. Hands can stay on the mat or maybe even on your shins. And we really want to, we don't want to be slouched here. We want to open up the chest when we come up halfway. And then we'll exhale and fold again. And then on the next inhale, we're going to come straight up to standing with a flat back. Arms up overhead to touch. And then exhale into Namaste. And our hands by our sides into Tadasana. I'm going to move myself back to make sure you can see me, okay? Once again, we'll inhale the arms up. Take the left wrist with the right hand, and just gently lean over to the right. Full deep breaths. And then on your next inhale, we'll come back to center, switch sides, and exhale over to the other side. And then we'll inhale back to center. Exhale the arms by our sides. And then we're going to inhale and come into chair pose. So it's really about pressing your butt backwards because you want to make sure that the knees are above the ankles. Then we'll inhale straight up again and exhale one more time. Hands in front of the heart and then Tadasana. And we're going to do a different balancing pose than the last time. So we're going to bend both knees as if we're coming into chair pose again. Bring hands in front of the heart. And we're going to lift the right leg and cross it over the left. So the ankle is on the upper thigh. And then we're going to take a seat back. You may not get too far. Don't break the furniture. Maybe be next to something so you can grab hold of it if you do lose your balance, which is not cheating at all. And just see how far you can come to sit. You may not go very far. You may come down to the shin. It gets a little easier here. But again, now I'm all wobbly. It's okay if you're wobbly. I can't. Oh, good. It's okay if you're wobbly, right? And then let's see if we can come back up to standing. I think that's oftentimes the harder part. Beautiful. Maybe shake it off. It's a lot of focus and balance, right? Then we're going to come to sit again, lifting the left leg up and then crossing the left over the right. Now keep the feet flexed. And like I said before, stand next to something solid that you can grab in case you need to. We'll just see how far we can come. And stay with the breath. And again, this is a great pose to find a drishti point also, so anything that you can focus your gaze on. And then we'll slowly start to come up. Beautiful. Lower the arms, we'll shake it out. That was great. And then let's take the legs a little bit wider. And we will take the right foot out and bring the left foot in. And take the arms out by our sides, come into warrior two. See if you can get that right leg, the shin, to be perpendicular to the floor. Full deep breaths. And then we'll inhale, straighten the front leg, and bring windmill both arms so that the left arm is on your left thigh and the right arm is coming up and overhead. Nice little back bend here. And then again, we'll inhale, leading with the right arm up and over. We're going to come forward just a little bit, come into a half triangle. Left arm is up by the ceiling. Then we'll inhale and lead up with the left arm, all the way up and around. Face both feet front. We'll take the arms behind our backs, clasp the hands one more time. We'll inhale the chest up, straighten the arms, gaze goes up, and then we'll exhale and fold forward, hinging at the hips, and the knees can be bent if you need them to be. Then we'll bring the clasped hands to the lower back and then release the hold and bring your hands down to the mat. See if you can line up the hands along I cannot talk. If you can line your hands up with the feet, that would be great. And then let the head just drop forward. Then we'll come up halfway. Bring your hands to your waist. And on your next inhale, we'll press up all the way. Then we'll turn the left foot out, right foot in a little bit, and check your alignment so the heel and the inner arch can be lined up. And then we'll reach the arms out in either direction. And we'll bend the front knee and come into warrior two on the other side. And stay here and breathe. Gaze is past the middle finger on the left hand. And maybe even press into that back leg a little bit more so that you can take some of the weight off of the front leg. And if you can still see your big toe, then your alignment is great. Then we'll inhale and straighten the front leg. The right arm comes to the back of the right leg and the left arm comes up and over into crescent. And then we'll inhale up and around again. Come forward just a little bit and into a half triangle. And of course that left knee can be bent a little bit. Even if it's just a little micro bend, it's better than locking the knee. And then we'll inhale the right arm up and over. Turn our feet back to the front. And then we'll turn both feet out. And we'll bring our palms together and come into a high squat. Full deep breaths. And very slowly we'll start to make our way down to the mat into a full squat. So if you need to bring the legs in, however you need to. I don't know what it is I do. I do some kind of like ninja thing back and forth. Make it fun. Full deep breaths here. And then we'll slowly release and we'll come back to the mat as gracefully as you'd like. We'll take the legs out in front and we'll bring the right leg to cross over the left. Keep keep the toes pointed. And then we'll inhale and reach the left arm out. And then we'll hug the knee. And we'll turn and twist over the right shoulder. So as you inhale, lift the chest slightly. And then twist as you exhale. And then your next exhalation, very slowly, make your way back to the front. And we'll switch sides, so we'll cross the left knee over the right leg. Extend the right arm. Hug the knee. Inhale, lift the chest slightly. And then exhale and twist over to the left. Keep the toes pointed up so the right foot is flexed. Both of the legs are active and pressing into the mat. Full deep breaths. And on your next exhale, we'll slowly make our way back to center. And then make your way onto your back. And hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little rock. And then we'll take the legs out and come into Shavasana. So allow the legs to be a little bit wider than normal. And let the feet fall naturally away from each other. Then start to let go a little bit at a time. We'll start to let the legs feel heavy. And feel them sinking into the mat. Release the pelvis and the sacrum. Notice all the points of contact along the back side of the body on the mat. Soften the belly. Allow that natural lumbar curve to remain. And relax the shoulder blades and the chest muscles and soften the whole area around the heart. And let go of any holding in the shoulders and the neck. And release the jaw if it's stuck to the, and the tongue, sorry, the jaw and the tongue if that's stuck to the roof of the mouth. And see if you can relax the muscles of the scalp and the muscles of the face and the cheeks, around the eyes and between the eyes. And we just rest here. We'll slowly start to bring awareness back to the room. Maybe just start with a full deep breath. Maybe just wiggling fingers and toes. Try taking the arms up overhead and giving yourself a full body stretch. And then bend the knees and roll over to the right. And make your way up to sitting nice and slow. Take your time. And we'll close our practice with hands in front of the heart. I'm so glad that you could make it. I'm always happy to see you. May we all be happy, may we all be healthy, and may we all be free from suffering. Namaste.